So this was first session on the right hand side. You see the grip,
Yeah.
weaker, stronger.
Yeah.
So in a really good spot. Set up way more athletic on the left hand side, and the setup of the shoulders and the pelvis looks a lot more even, rather than your sternum looking a little open on the right hand side. Looks as if your shoulders are actually slightly left, because you look more squared off on the left hand side.
Even with my face looking, I'm like,
That's kind of common when people are steeper. They'll want to look more inside the ball because it makes you feel as if you can look in at 7 o'clock
yeah.
and try and get it coming from the inside. But I mean that's wild, isn't it? That is so different.
I don't want to see that ever again.
That is so different. And I think that's the good thing about when, if you do have a bad range session, you just got to look at where you were. Because what was that? A couple months ago?
Yeah, end of last year.
Yeah. I mean, so much better. So much better.
It's like on a boat just washing around, just can't stand still.
I know which one I prefer.
Yeah, me too.
I know which one I prefer. I think it's really, really key when you are changing stuff to not over change it. It's just little tweaks every time, because from where you are, where you had so much pelvis sway and so much extension of the chest, to now actually looking deeper, arms lower. Look at your right elbow as well. Look how this is nicely in front of the chest, whereas on this right hand side it's flying up behind you.
Yeah, on my head somewhere.
I just look at that on the left, I just think, these changes always take a little longer to bed in than we think. So you might find that start of the season it's a little bit hit and miss, but hopefully, you should hit it a ton better from that spot on the left. But it's purely the idea now of imagining I've got my drill stick on that right side of your head, and feeling that pelvis separate across to the green line as the arms lower. Yeah. The key part to the moving around again would be getting that path more from the inside. So I would just walk on a little bit of transition where you are here, where you are separating the pelvis across and the head staying in its spot, feeling back, but the pelvis is kind of separating a bit. Rather on the right hand side, it's like everything falls into that left side, and then it's difficult for you to do anything but stand up and hang back.
Yeah.
But on the left, you would honestly have freedom to rotate left. It's a bit of an oversimplification, but you would have freedom to rotate into your lead side, because you would just hit it cleaner and hit it better for doing it.
Awesome.
I think it's just such a good change.
Yeah.
So run through your before and after and just the couple of little changes we made. The prime topic being the swing plane was a little bit on the steeper side. And what you can see in it, and a huge difference between the left and the right hand side of the screen. One is that on the left, you can see there's still some pressure forward in the foot. So from the glute line and head line, you can see that average of mass will be quite heavily forwards, okay? Whereas on the right, you don't look as if your head is as over the ball, okay? So we look as if the head is a little bit more back to my eye there, which can help drive the pressure a little bit more back in this right foot, okay? Now, if the pressure is too far forward and you feel too far away from the ball, you're always more inclined to move the hands outwards in the downswing. So we can see how we have a shaft, which, as we said, is not necessarily steep, but just above plane. And we have a left arm, which is out from underneath the shoulder. Now, on the way down, on the right-hand side, what we can see is an arm that lowers down the chest more effectively. So as you get to left arm parallel versus left arm parallel, you can see one arm is inside the shoulder, one arm is flirting with outside the shoulder. And we can see as a byproduct, we have actually gained a little bit of shallowing and got a shaft a little bit more on plane. Now, as that moves down, what you'll find is that that head will get more from the inside, as opposed to wanting to get kicked outside. And look at the position of the left arm there. I mean, that is so different. So on the right, you'll have acres of room to find strike. Okay, you'll feel as if you can post up better out of that left side because that shaft or head will be working ever so slightly from the inside, and we should get the push draw really working very nicely. Okay, so try to feel two things: a little bit closer to the ball, a little bit more weight in the right foot at the top of the backswing. In the back of the right foot at the top of the backswing, and the lead arm lowering down the chest as you rotate. Those three things should drastically shallow out the amount of ground strike you have, and make things like 3-woods and long iron shots so much better. Okay, well done, mate. I hope you've had a chance to practice over the last few days. Generally, you know, your swing's looking so good. On the right hand side, we've got the after. Left hand side, we've got the before. And really, the primary goal was like, okay, well, we're in a really good backswing, but kind of moving the arms out and away from us, rather than really getting into any good quality rotation. So we could see how the, you know, shoulders were still quite closed, and the pelvis was still quite square. So really, the key would be that, you know, as you get to the top, I think a little bit of continuous work on this right elbow wouldn't go amiss. I think trying to close that gap down a little bit more would make things that bit more consistent for you. But from there, you know, just trying to get the sensation that as you get into the top, you know, a bit more connected on that right hand side, a little bit lower the left arm, you can almost feel that the chest and the pelvis are starting the downswing. So you can see how you've already made kind of like an early turn there. Whereas on this left hand side, we see how it's the arms that want to get thrown outwards. So less chest turn, less hip turn, but the arms throwing you out. So as we look at this spot, and we look at P5, we see lead arm more inwards, and we see a lead arm more down the line. Okay, so one is the arms moving out, the other is the body rotating the hands outwards. And as you continue to work down, the shaft shallows, and it's really important that you keep rotating left and you continue the arc round to your left-hand side. So you can see down at strike, a huge difference between one quality of turn and the other quality of turn. And to be honest, Simon, this could just keep going. You would be amazed at how open you can feel with your body through impact. And then from there, you've got to keep this club moving in and around, okay? And the rotation would keep going in and around. Left shoulder, left hip, handle, all moving up and in, okay? So some great progress. Keep it going. Let me know if you have any further thoughts, and I will catch up with you very soon. New swing on the right hand side.
Okay, yep.
So we're not 3/4.
No,
That's just full to me. That to me is a nice full backswing. I really like it when the shaft is just short of parallel.
Yeah.
I think that's a great spot. You can see right elbow, obviously pulling that in a bit more, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Bit more flying on this left hand side. Now what we should see is a shaft pitch that goes through less change. So on the left, we can work it down stage by stage. Like if it stayed there, you're spot on.
Yeah.
But the problem is with you, and with a lot of people, it continues to get too flat. So now we're starting to get underneath plane. Yeah, where that head starts to fall too far inside the hands. Now, fingers crossed, haven't actually checked it. So that's top of the backswing. Let's say there is now transition. Already better.
Yeah.
club less inside.
Yep.
That on the right, the shaft pitch is changing its angle less.
Yeah.
On the left, it's going through quite a lot of change. Hence why you can flush it and play great, but maybe the bad ones are just too bad to really put a really, really good score together. You can also see on the left, it's too far from the inside. And when you do move swing direction heavily to the right, you will start to back off an angle attack. So you'll get your nice draw, but you know, if you were playing in a comp and you roll into a divot and it wasn't a casual round where you could just kick it out of it, you're going to struggle to create the down strike to really kind of flush it out of it. Thicker rough or a tuft of grass before the ball, you're going to struggle. Whereas at least on the right, you know, it's a bit more direct into the back of the ball. There is more down strike without the theory of just thumping into the floor. So it should just make you have a bit more skill when you need to have a bit more angle of attack.
Cool.
Because your baseline is now 2, 3, 4 down rather than 0.6 down.
Gotcha.
Very good.
Cool.
This is where you were earlier on the left. So not a whole ton. Oh, sorry. You went on the upper. So not a whole ton of turn.
Yeah.
And then hands working out.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not so much that the shaft is steep, but it's steep in transition.
Yeah.
The hands move out and that shallows the shaft late, which we don't want. Whereas now, much better turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we start to see the left arm not work out as much.
Yeah.
See how the left arm's more underneath the shoulder?
Yeah.
Whereas left arm pointing outside the shoulder?
Even with the club, that's above my shoulder and that's almost below it now.
Yeah, exactly. So that swing plane gets much more constant. Off the ball, off the feet line.
So middle.
That was nice. Good swing.
Finish now.
Low left side here. Too much hip tilt. Not enough turn. This was the first one. So that's you kind of locking the leg out. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making a full body turn, but I do prefer to see the hip outside the shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you've had this tip for so long, you then have to slide back across
Yeah.
quite heavily. And then the left hip gets high and the right side gets low. Yeah, so like we said before, you're a big tipper rather than a turner.
Yeah.
And when you tip, it does cause problems for length of swing, swing plane, and often, as a byproduct of those two things, the drive.
Yeah.
Okay? Nice.